Page 63, you raise me up. 4/4 time. No sharps or flats in the key signature. We're in the key of C major. Make sure you can do the C major scale and the A minor scale, at least a couple octaves up and down. I have videos on those scales. Just do the beginning and intermediate part. And probably ought to be doing the arpeggios too for these, the C major and A minor. It's the tremolo exercise in the arpeggio I'm after there. That's what's important. For this go, that has some interesting rhythms in it. So I'm going to kind of take both hands at the same time to shorten the video. But when you first approach it, I encourage you to do it one hand at a time. So the right hand, you're here. And the left hand, the notes are written here, but it has an 8/8 under that. So you're going to go down here. If you have the notes, if you have a short keyboard, you just do the lowest C's you have. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1, 3. So the second measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So here, that's melody. They say 2, 1. Here, and hold that down. That's fine, you don't have to, you're here. I can go here. I can go 1, 2, 3, 5. I don't have to cross over the thumb. So if you want, do that. Because you played the C with a third finger. Reach up. Now, here, the rhythm and measure 4. The first two beats aren't bad. It's 1 and 2 and 3. Then 3 and 4. Beat 4 is the first 16th note. 3 and 4. Take out the tie and play them all. 3 and 4 and. 4 E and 4 E and. Here. And when you get a handle on that, then put the tie in. 3 and 4 and. Like so. It's F, G, C. And hold this down for the rest of the measure. And lift up. So again, the rhythm, measure 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See, beat 4 is the 8th rest. 4 and 4 E and 4 E and 1 and 2. Here you just move up. That's fine. And move up again in the left hand. Now measure 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the beat 4 is the 8th note after the 16th note. So again, take out the tie and just play all the notes. That's really what it is, except you're just tying that note together. Let's go over to page 64. It's measure 12, where we have that rhythm again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 4 E and 4 and. And then go on, reach down. Now if you want that on measure 13, you can play that first G with third finger or whatever, because you need thumb here. And it's easier to reach it if you use one of these other fingers. Since it's a repeated note, the G happens twice, then you can switch fingers. Yeah. So I can use 4 right there if I want. Then lift up, hold that down. Here. This is very common in piano. You'll get this. You've had this rhythm before. And that's a G. Now reach up to the G. Now the fun part comes up. Measure 18, you're finishing in this section. You see the double bars coming up? We're changing key signatures. Now we're going into the key of D major. Well, that means maybe you need to do the D major scale also. And while you're at it, do the B minor scale, because it also has 2 sharps. But here now the F's and the C's are sharped. 3, 4. Don't turn those into triplets. It's got to be a short note. 1 and 2 and. And on measure 21, I recommend a 4 on the second beat. 1 and here. Yeah, because that way I mean, you don't have to. You have a note in between, you can do that. It prepares me for it. What is this? Measure 22. Triplets. All 3 of those notes come on the first half of the first beat. 1 and, 1 and, 1 and. I don't really count them other than the 1 and I just get 3 notes in there. 1 and. And then what, third finger? That's fine if that's what you want. I don't care. So let's start with the measure before that. Measure 21, you're here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Measure 23, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 E and a, 3 E and a actually. 3 E and a, or 3 and. Measure 26 in the left hand, and then you go into here. I'd kind of like to connect that to here. Well, that means you can't use 5th finger. Well, it's a repeated note. I can use a different finger on the half note. I can use probably 4th finger is better, because then, the whole chord is that. And that's the fingering for it, so that's just sort of it. It's like a broken chord, so I recommend 4th finger on the half note on measure 26 in the left hand. So measure 26 is here. Now if that's awkward for you, it shouldn't be. You need to practice it. You can do 3rd if it's easier for you, but I prefer 4th. For measure 28, that's a stretch, and I want to connect them, so I can put 3rd finger on the A. It makes it easier to connect it. I can even use 4th. It doesn't matter, because I can do that. Anything but 2, almost anything but 2, and then go on. And on measure 29. Measure 30, I got here to here. No. So on the first beat, I'm going to use a different finger. I don't want 2, I'm going to use 3. Makes it easier to reach the D. Rhythm, measure 31. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 4 is the 8th note that's tied. You're not actually playing a note there, you're holding it down. Well, take out the tie and play all the notes. It's a 3 and 4 and, but then just add the tie and hang on to it. Measure 33, it's 4, 1 to get ready to go down an octave. And then the last couple measures. Well, let's take the last 3 measures. You're here. 3, and then here, 5 here, and then a 2, and then cross over so you can connect them. And then hold everything down as best you can and go up here. For the F sharp D, as far as articulation goes, it's just all connected. Slurs, you can lift up between the phrases. Usually there's a rest there to lift up. The left hand, I'd suggest you pretty much just connect it all as best you can. Dynamics apply to the melody here, and that's going to be the right hand. Whatever you think moderately soft is. However, I'd like to adjust that a little bit. I like to have a difference in sound between melody notes and non-melody notes. And at the beginning, this first 3 notes or so, that's not melody. The melody is the 8th note. I want that clear to the listener. That's where the melody actually starts. So I'm going to play this first part soft in both hands. And then the melody, I'm going to play it moderately soft. Now, measure 3 is a tricky one. That's what I want to hear. Do the best you can. If you can play this and that's soft, I'm putting more weight on it is all I'm doing. You can, if you need to, play it in the right hand. And cross over. Just do that. If that'll help you, good. However it helps you, but you need the control eventually where you can play one hand louder than, or one note louder than the other in the same hand. It could be any note, that takes practice. But I want the melody to be moderately soft and everything else to be soft or very soft. Measure 5, you go up a little bit to moderately loud. The left hand's still soft. Here. And come back down. Don't stay there. You like and measure at the end of measure 7. I'd come back down. And at the end there, I'll measure 9. You're going back up again. Just a little bit up to moderately loud. Don't get loud. Not yet, it's moderately loud. For measure 10. And stay there until measure 13 you come down. Well, I'm going to do that anyway. Because on measure 12, that's melody. This isn't. I want that softer anyway. I want it clear to the listener that these are not melody notes. This is. This is. So you're loud at measure 14 and 15, then you come back down to moderately loud. You can read the dynamics. Put in the dynamics. It's better to get to know it well enough you feel these dynamics. Speed, well, if you were going to sing it. How fast would you sing it? So you can find recordings of this, I'm sure. And then, of course, we add the pedal. Well, that's fine. We want to connect it because it's too disconnected. It's too dry here. So we add the pedal, and it's pretty much overlapping pedal, but I want to adjust it slightly to get rid of some of the mushiness because this is not a fast piece, and that means people have time to hear the mushiness. We don't want that. At the beginning, I push the notes down first and then the pedal. I change the pedal after I play the notes. Now here, watch out. Make sure you hold the left hand down, because if you don't, you'll lose it when you change the pedal. And I measure 3. I don't pedal on the first. I don't pedal that. I don't pedal until I play the C. And I lift up on the 4th beat. I don't need pedal there. I don't want to smear it. I don't want all that. So again, measure 3, it's here. Pedal when you play the C in the right hand. And then lift. measure 4, I don't need to pedal the last 2 beats at all. Otherwise I smear it. And I don't want that. This needs to be kind of sweet. Now that's not sweet. And on measure 5, I don't pedal that. So those notes are by themselves. And on measure 6, I don't pedal the last beat. I want to hear the rest. And I don't need to pedal the 16th notes. Measure 8, they tell you not to pedal the last 2 beats, so that's what I was doing on measure 4. Don't pedal the last 2 beats. And on measure 9, I changed the pedal with the half notes in the left hand. That way I hear the rest in the right hand. And you don't really need to pedal that either, although you have a page turn. So if you got to reach up with one hand and turn the page, then you need to pedal it so the sound goes on. And you'll smear it. That's unfortunate, but unless you want to turn the page here, in the first half of that measure, turn the page here and memorize, then you don't have to pedal that part. So you have to work the page turn out yourself, but the beat has to be steady on that page turn. Now measure 64, you're here. Up with a little more blurriness here. It's a little louder, a little more exciting, sort of loud. So measure 12. But on measure 14, I would not pedal the last 2 beats. Now we have a problem there, and that is because I'm using the thumb. I'd like to connect both of those notes, the last note measure 14 and the first note measure 15. I need the pedal to help me out, so I'm going to pedal the F and change it right there. I'm just using the pedal to help me connect the notes. And so forth. Then on, let's go on to measure 18 here. On measure 21, I pedal the last 2 beats. Change here. I don't want both of them. Yuck, so change it. Don't pedal that. Measure 23, I pedal it the same way I did before. I don't pedal the last beat. I want to hear the rest in the right hand. Pretty much it. I mean, measure 29 is the same as we've had before. You pedal it the same way. Oh, actually, see, in measure 29 now, we're a little louder. We're loud. Actually, we're loud here. You can go ahead and pedal it like it's shown. But on measure 30, lift up the last beat. Hold that left hand down so it's here. Measure 31. I don't pedal that. I don't pedal until I play the G with the thumb. So here. And so forth. Now that's my impression of the pedaling. See, I experiment with the pedal quite a bit. Is that really the sound I want? It's up to you and your ears and what you like to hear. like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I can't really do the page turn. So I'm just going to do page 63 and then I'm going to stop and turn the page. I'm going to count in and again, another 4 counts. And then we'll do the rest of it. I'm not going to do measure 17, the first ending on page 64. I'm going to skip that measure because I don't want to have to repeat because there's a page turn. So we'll skip measure 17 and go straight to 18 and just play it straight through. I will attempt to pedal it the way I suggested. I keep experimenting, so I keep changing how I pedal it. I'm doing that constantly. So we'll see how close I come. I don't know. 1, 2, ready, go. Turn the page. 1, 2, ready, and go, and. Second ending.